Welcome to a study of Psalm 27 to kick off our Kabbalat Shabbat this evening. I know some of you may not have been expecting, there's the chat room so I can see it. Some of you might not have been expecting to look at Psalm 27 tonight, expecting to jump right into Kabbalat Shabbat. We are beginning tonight with this Psalm 27 review because Elul is the month where it is traditional to read Psalm 27 every day. And for a very practical reason, Patrick and I had a little bit of confusion over our scheduling this week. So instead of trying to send out announcements saying, no, we're starting at 7:30, I said, you know what, why don't we just start at 7, like a lot of people were expecting, and we'll spend 20 minutes or so looking at Psalm 27. And I have about 6 translations. I'm hoping some of you have some too. And we will see what we learn tonight as we go through it. So my name is Ketzirah, for those who don't know, and I'm very pleased to be here with you this evening. I see we have, wow, a lot of people tonight. I'm very excited. So I see we have a lot of people who are showing up as guests. Please, if you can, log into the chat room. I know it can be a little bit kludgy that first time you log in. I believe logging in, you just type here, wait, I'll put it in the chat room for you. You type :/login, and if you have a login, oh look, that just messed me up in the chat room. It will cancel, let me in. It will log you in. If you may need to create a login at Ustream as well. So if you have some issues, don't panic. There's always these weird little moments with the chat room, but it's really great when people can actually be able to engage with us in the chat room and talk, so it's not just me kind of talking to myself. So to get started tonight, I want to look at Psalm 27, and I want to begin with a slightly different translation. I should probably be starting with the most traditional translation I can come up with, but I think you all can find those on your own. This is a version that I am very excited about. It's a new book that I just got this year. I try to treat myself to a new copy of Psalms every year. Yes, that's my life. I treat myself to copies of Psalms. And it's called Rejoice, Beloved Woman, The Psalms Re-envisioned by Barbara Monda. And what she's done is she's actually rewritten all of the Psalms using divine feminine language. So God as feminine language. And if you know me at all, you know that's a big part of my practice. Since most of us would say God is neither male nor female, it's really important to me that we also pray in the feminine and experience the totality of God using just masculine God language, for me at least. It does still evoke that image of the old man with the white beard on the throne, which really isn't my experience of God at all. And I think it also constantly puts women often in a position where they do not feel like God can be seen in them. So that's my soapbox on that front. And so I want to start by reading Psalm 27 for you all from this version using Divine Feminine, and then, wow, there's so many of you in the chat room now, I'm so excited. Please share as I'm reading what thoughts you have about this translation of it, and then I will grab my JPS edition from the other room, because I forgot to grab it, and we'll do the traditional, very, very traditional reading. So, Psalm 27. Shaddai is my guide and deliverance. Whom shall I fear? Oh, wait, I can do that for you. Let's try that again, guys. Sorry. Thank you, Miriam, for the fact that you couldn't hear me. Yes, the plan was to read this aloud. I'm going to try that again. Shaddai is my guide and my deliverance. Whom shall I fear? She is the fortress of my life. In her cavern I am safe. When the malicious ones attack me with lies, wanting to eat me alive, they will stumble over themselves and fall on their faces. Even if enemies gang up on me, I will not lose heart. If I am violently attacked, I will still trust in you, Mother. One thing I ask of you is to live in your house all the days of my life. Let me always be able to look up at your beauty. You are my shelter from the storms. In your tent I hide. In your cave I find my strength. Out of danger's reach I play and sing to you, Mother. As a beloved child pleases, so will I please you, Shaddai. I look into the face of God, and my heart knows your love. Do not turn away from me or be angry with me. Do not abandon or desert me. If I am orphaned by my parents, I know you will take me to your breast. Do not give up on me when I naively believe in wild promises and fail daily. Teach me the way to live. I know I will be strong and brave when you nurture me beneath your garments. Hold me next to your warm body. So thank you, Miriam, for one, letting me know that wasn't in very good focus, and also that you couldn't hear me. I was looking at the page, so I couldn't see that I hadn't turned the microphone back on there. So what do you all think? What does that psalm sound like to you when it's using that language and in that interpretation? Anyone have thoughts about what they just heard? I'm going to pause and grab the JPS edition while you all share some of your thoughts in the chat room. And we do not have a chatty crowd tonight. That's okay. That was my little subtle runaway, so I could quickly grab JPS. So this is the fairly recent JPS, and I'm going to read this for you. Oh, thank you, Miriam. We do have conversation. Yay! Yeah, and it is. It's more nurturing. It's more personal. Actually, one of my favorite translations I don't have a copy of anymore. I actually left the book at someone's house, and I need to get a new copy. There's another translation I love. It's from Norman Fisher. It's Opening to You. It's a Zen interpretation of the Psalms. And it's really, in that case, it's less personal, but in some ways almost more approachable, since so many people don't experience God personified. Many people experience God as more of a force in life. And there are, of course, many people who are atheists and Jewish and really don't experience God per se, except through humanity. And so Opening to You, a Zen interpretation of the Psalms, is another really beautiful one. I've got to buy a new copy of that as well. It's just a great addition. So I'm going to read now the JPS version. This is from, there we go, hold the book up, Tanakh, the Holy Scriptures, the Jewish Bible, Jewish Publication Society. It's probably a 10-year-old edition at this point. The Lord is my light and my help. Whom should I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Whom shall I dread? When evil men assail me to devour my flesh, it is they, my foes and my enemies, who stumble and fall. Should an army besiege me, my heart would have no fear. Should war beset me, still I would be confident. One thing I ask of the Lord, only that do I seek, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, to frequent his temple. He will shelter me in his pavilion on an evil day, grant me the protection of his tent, raise me high upon the rock. Now is my head high over my enemies round about. I sacrifice in his tents with shouts of joy, singing and chanting a hymn to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud. Have mercy on me, answer me. In your behalf my heart says, seek my face. O Lord, I seek your face. Do not hide your face from me. Do not thrust aside your servant in anger. You have ever been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me. O God, my deliverer, Though my father and mother abandon me, the Lord will take me in. Show me your way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path, because of my watchful foes. Do not subject me to the will of my foes, or false witnesses and unjust accusers have appeared against me. Had I not the assurance that I would enjoy the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Look to the Lord and be strong and of good courage. O look to the Lord. So that's probably the straightest translation you can find. I know for me, the most resonant lines, and I'll probably choke up at least once saying them, is the "Don't forsake me" portion, and especially the line that where'd it go? The section of "All I ask is to live in your house all of my days." I mentioned this at Rosh Chodesh earlier in the week. Oh, I missed the music. Yeah, that's very true. Is that Judy? Jay Holland, I think that is you. I miss the music. The music, or without the words, would comfort me. So there's a lot of beautiful musical versions, and I actually played a few at Rosh Chodesh, so I should pull one of those up next. And I'll have to figure out some image to put up so you're not just staring at me as I'm listening to music. But that's another one. So I'm going to try something different. I'm going to pull up, let's see, I didn't prep this one, but I still think we can make that happen. I'm going to pull up a very different version of this than many of you may have heard. I found it, if my computer wants to behave, I can play it for you. I found this one when I was actually just kind of looking, and I was really trying to find some different versions of Psalms, and really looking for who's done Psalm 27. And I found that actually the Christian rock band POD had done a version of it, and they partnered with Modest Yahoo, who most people know is the Orthodox reggae singer. So I really thought about that one. I had to go listen to it, and when I listened to it, I found it really, really interesting. Very modern in tone, obviously, but it appealed to me, especially as a interfaith work too. A lot of you know I do a lot of work in that area. I am in an interfaith marriage. So any explorations of that and where we can find common ground are very exciting to me. And I think this version is just very fascinating. So I'm going to play this version of Psalm 27 for you. It is called Strength of My Life, and it's by POD and Modest Yahoo. I can hear it. Okay, I'm not playing it yet, apparently. Sorry.
Yo, you turn our rhythms in your system so clear. No negative, take your ism, stay clear. We keep it lovely, give you what you won't hear. No, you won't hear. And Modest Yahoo in the house, stand clear. POD in the house, stand clear. If Jah is for me, tell me who I gon' fear. No, I won't fear. And Jah of Jacob, deserving of my love. And God of Isaac, rain blessings from above. Hashem of Abraham will show me the way. I go down on my knees and this is what I pray. Strength of my life, whom shall I dread? When I'm evildoers approach to devour my flesh. Even if there won't be stumble and fall, then battle y'all and stand tall. Show me favor when I call. Oh, oh, back them against the wall. Stumble and then fall. Battle y'all and stand tall. Show me favor when I call. Oh, 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 yo, Matis Yavul, P.O.D. eternally with His majesty, dwelling in the songs of glory, dwelling with the song of glory. Oh, 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 oh,
All right, so that was POD and Matisyahu doing Strength of My Life, which is an interpretation of Psalm 27. I had a couple more, but I can't seem to find them right now, so I'm not going to worry about it because it's 7:20 right now. So I want to close out our exploration of Psalm 27 with one last version. It's from probably the most consistently beautiful traditional translation of Psalms that I know of, which is by Robert Alter, who's a biblical scholar and translator. And it is in masculine God language, but it's just something about the tone he uses that is really stunning to me and just honestly chokes me up. And like some of you have been saying in the chat room, yeah, this is a psalm that for me, especially during this month of Elul, it hits perfectly. I don't know about you all, and I think I shared this at Rosh Chodesh, but Elul is this time of turning inward, the month we're in right now. We're supposed to be examining ourselves and our lives and getting ready for the high holidays. And it's probably the most busy and stressful month of the year for me. And it's not just because I'm getting ready for high holidays. I usually lead a service. Everything in the world seems to be colluding together to test me on every level. And so far, one day in, this is a couple days into Elul. This year is looking to be a banner year on that front. And so my looking inward for Elul pretty much has me stumbling my way towards Rosh Hashanah. And the imagery we use at Rosh Hashanah is that the gates of heavens open. And for me, I feel like I stumble my way to the gates and just kind of fall in front of them most years. And again, I think this year, gonna be that kind of year. And I don't know if I'm trying to get in or out either. I'm not sure on that front with the gates. I'm not sure if I'm where I stand on which side of it. But this psalm I just find so comforting throughout the whole month. And reminding me over and over of what it is I'm supposed to be looking at and exploring to get ready for the High Holy Days. So this version, and yes, I'm picking up my iPad, sorry, is by David Alter from the Book of Psalms, a translation with commentary. So I don't have the pretty book cover to show you. Hey, look, a glowing white screen. It's the only problem with digital books. All right, the 27th Psalm by David Alter. For David, the Lord is my light and my rescue. Whom should I fear? The Lord is my life's stronghold. Of whom should I be afraid? When evildoers draw near to eat my flesh, my foes and my enemies are they. They trip and fall. Though a camp is marshaled against me, my heart shall not fear. Though a battle is roused against me, none the less do I trust. One thing I ask of the Lord, it is this I seek, that I dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the Lord's sweetness and to gaze on his palace. For he hides me in his shelter on the day of evil. He conceals me in the recess of his tent. On a rock he raises me up. And now my head rises over my enemies around me. Let me offer in his tent sacrifices with joyous shouts. Let me sing and hymn to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, my voice when I call, and grant me grace and answer me. Of you my heart said, seek my face. Your face, Lord, do I seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in wrath. You are my help. Abandon me not, nor forsake me, O God of my rescue. Though my father and mother forsook me, the Lord would gather me in. Teach me, O Lord, your way, and lead me on a level path because of my adversaries. Do not put me in the maw of my foes, for false witnesses rose against me, outrageous deposers. If I but trust to see the Lord's goodness in the land of the living. Hope for the Lord. Let your heart be firm and bold, and hope for the Lord. So that is the version by David Alter. I want to thank you all for joining me in this exploration of Psalms. We're going to take a couple of minute break so I can take a sip of water. The chat room will stay open this whole time, so I very much invite you all to take the next couple of minutes as we transition into our Kabbalat Shabbat service, talking to each other about the Psalms and what they mean to you in Psalm 27, and what versions you like, what songs you like. You can share links if you know where music is online. Be about 5 minutes as I just flip a couple switches and get us ready for Kabbalat Shabbat. So I'll see you all in a couple of minutes, and Shabbat Shalom.